Welcome back to the Comic Book Bullies, Nerds and the Bully. I'm your host, Leroy, aka Bad Bitch O'Clock, with my co-host.
This is Eli, aka the Nude 52.
There you go. And that is what James Gunn is bringing us. And we're back with the episode. And Eli, guess what?
Yes.
We're back on Facebook.
Oh shit.
Yes. Hello Facebook land, I guess.
Oh damn. Well, I should share the link.
You should share the link. You can do that now. Either one. I got
it's been a while.
YouTube.
Let me see
it's
if
been
I
a while.
remember
Honestly, I got to remember how to do it. Like, how do you Facebook again? I don't know. We've been gone a long time. I don't. If you guys have seen us, we haven't been on Facebook since November. For some stupid shit I did. It's on me. You know, I got hit with one band. Right before the band was up, I did some stupid shit and got hit with another band. So I was gone. We were gone 90 days. So yeah, out of there. So
I'm guilty by association. So whatever you did, I guess I did it too.
Yeah, that's saying. So Eli, you can fuck up and it's okay. But if I mess up, yeah, you get hit with it too. So yeah.
I fuck up all the time. My name just ain't on this page though.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So you can get away with shit, yeah. So yeah. But anyway, we're back. We're gonna get started with it. And hopefully we don't get banned by the end of this episode either. We won't get into anything too controversial. But I do want to say happy Black History Month.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, Black History Month. Hold on, before we do that, make sure I got the thing. Did I got the thing? I got the thing. Cool. All right, so want to say happy Black History Month. I do want to say that these companies are getting a little bit more outrageous the more Black History Month going on, because the other day I looked at Black History. I saw an advertisement for this, and I'm just like, come on, man. Y'all don't have to do that. So,
they couldn't find anybody else, huh?
They couldn't find anybody else. They just throw somebody in there. Like, come on, man. So, and that's the problem. That's what I'm scared of. What's going to happen with Black History Month? Because I'm feeling like Black History Month, with these businesses are getting attached to it, I feel like it's turning into Halloween. I feel like it's turning into Christmas, because that's where all the Halloween candy came from, because these businesses came in and want to make money off of it. So that's where Halloween candy came from. That's where Santa Claus came from. I know some of you believe in Santa Claus, but Santa Claus was invented by Coca-Cola. Sorry. Because it was something for them to advertise. So, and I'm hoping we don't get some kind of Black History mascot just for business to jump on. But at the same time, if they don't have something in it for them, will they even bother?
Kid.
This is the new Black History Month mascot. Ian. Oh yeah, but that's the thing. So I'm scared of. But at the same time, I don't want them to take it too far. But at the same time, if business don't have anything to do with Black History Month, why would they bother with it? So it's kind of like
America, man. If there's a buck to be made, they're gonna get it.
They're not gonna do it out their own goodness of their heart. They're not gonna do that.
Yeah.
So, but at the same time, and I can't talk about it because just as much as I complain about the machine, Eli, we're part of the machine also. Because here's the thing.
Resistance is futile.
Exactly. Because the thing is, like, doing Black History Month, normally we do something on the podcast also. We do something special Black History Month. Like I said, I'm not going to talk about, Thurgood Marshall or anything like that, even though I should, but I will give you some history on, Black superheroes or Black comic book characters, things like that, But the thing is, Eli, last year took so much out of me. I'm going to take a break this year.
Oh, really? There's no episode dedicated to Rocket Racer?
I thought about it. I was like, shut up. But I was like, man, it took so much out of me last time. So what I'm going to do is just share the link for what I did last year. So if you didn't catch that, Shalir, just do that. Here's the link.
And go read all the comics.
And read all the comics. There you go. So just hashtag, if you're on Facebook, because we're back, comic book Black History Month. Do that hashtag. Put in that hashtag and go there, and you'll see all the stuff that we've done. As for the last 2 or 3 years, we've just done it. I got all kind of tidbits and things like that. Funny thing is, DC has been dropping tidbits on their history things on their Black heroes. I'm like, what's them? I did the same thing, but mine go to more detail and tell you more shit. So not bragging, just saying, But, yeah. But you want to check that out, go there, support, we'll go from there. So that being said, we're gonna move into it. No malarkey, no dilly-dallying. We're just gonna just jump into it because we actually got a full meaty show. Thanks to James Gunn. Thanks to James Gunn. I was gonna do a Black History Month superhero show, but then James Gunn gonna come out and drop all this news. Just here you go. You've been bothered about it. You've been complaining about me, huh? There you go. At the end of January. So yeah. So he gave us all kind of stuff. He gave us a podcast worth of stuff to talk about.
A plethora of news.
A smorgasbord.
A cornucopia. of content.
Exactly. So we're just gonna just jump on his cornucopia and just go with it from there. So first thing we're gonna do, we're just gonna just jump into it. We're gonna go by them one by one. We're gonna just not do the whole thing. We're gonna break it down one by one. It was 10 projects that James Gunn dropped and that he gave us because we complained about it. He was like, here you go. So we're gonna go by one and basically say, like, give you some details about what's going on with it and what do we think about it? Like, are we excited for it? Are we not excited for it? I do want to say this. First off, for those who don't know who James Gunn is, right? If you listen to the podcast, I don't know why you don't, but he's the guy to do the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. Boom. There you go. When the last one comes out, he's going over to DC. He got the job over at DC. He is co-CEO of DC. So it's another guy, him and some other guy. They're in it together. Yeah. But people thinking that the moment that he jumps over to DC, this is what he's going to do. Now, come on, man. He's not going to do that. He's actually going to give us good stuff, you know. By the way, I saw that show. That show sucked, but yeah. So, first thing we're going to do is talk about, what is this? Let's see. Oh, I should have did that, but yeah. DC State of Movies, we're going to talk about Creature Commandos. We're just going to jump out the gate. Now, it wasn't, the reason we're going to start off with Creature Commandos is because James Gunn said it's the first thing he started with. He's going to start off with Creature Commandos. It's an animated series. So if anybody know what it is, it's a movie, it's a TV show, animated series. That's what it is. To give you a quick glimpse of what it looks like. They just gave us this brief look of it right here. Where are you? Where are you? Nope, not there. I didn't put it on there. Doesn't matter. It's there. Creature Commandos, that's it. This is what we have. We don't have really a whole lot of detail about it right now. Like I said, it's a very obscure comic. Think Guardians of the Galaxy. It's that, but kind of like that, like something that even the hardcore comic fans never really heard of. It's this. So that's the thing. So James Gunn can kind of do whatever he wants to with this. All we know is that so far that it kind of has a similar lineup with it. It is in contemporary times. So it's like in today's time. And I think it's going to have Rick Flagg's dad as a leader on the show. I think. I don't know. Okay. I don't think he was
I didn't know that.
I think that came from James Gunn himself. I think he said, because there is a white guy on there, which I don't think there was a white guy on the original lineup.
No,
so I think
there was. He was like the leader. Okay. He was like a doctor who did experiments on soldiers in World War II and turned them all into monsters.
Okay. For those who don't know, Eli is he is the expert. He is the most knowledgeable expert of Creature Commandos on the planet right now.
When he said Creatures Commandos, I was like, ooh, a Creatures Commando movie? Oh, no, it's a cartoon. Oh, okay.
You're that one guy that stands up in the theater.
Yes! Yeah! Then, oh, man, it's just a cartoon? Okay.
So, also, we want to talk about Weasel is in this. So,
looks like it right
Weasel
there.
From the Suicide Squad. If you see him on the right, he's there. That's Weasel. That's the same Weasel from the Suicide Squad because you notice everybody died in Suicide Squad except 2 people. Weasel and Eli. Let's see if you can guess who the other person didn't die in that beach storm.
Oh, in the on this squad?
No. In the opening scene of the Suicide Squad.
Oh, the
when everybody's getting wiped out.
Peter
2 people live.
Pete Davidson's character.
Nope, got blown to shit.
Oh, who lived?
Yeah.
Oh,
Weasel lived, and it was somebody else that lived also.
I don't remember. Fuck.
Anybody that's listening, comment, tell you who lived. I tell you. I'm a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. TDK.
Oh,
the attachment kid. If you look at, because they went back to the screen and they showed everybody that died, deceased. TDK said like critical condition, something like that. He wasn't dead, and James Gunn confirmed later on he didn't die. So yeah. Yeah, that's all I got in there. Now I'm gonna give it to you, Eli, because like I said, you are the most knowledgeable Creature Commandos expert on the planet. So tell us what we need to know about this.
Well, I mean, I'm not hardly an expert. I just remember I totally forgot about these motherfuckers until he mentioned it. I was like, oh yeah, they're a thing. No, they're basically universal monsters as soldiers fighting Nazis in World War II. You have a Dracula, you have a Frankenstein, you have a Wolfman. Later on, you get a Medusa. And yeah, they just go to it's set in World War II, and they just fight Nazis and go on these little missions and shit. Yeah, like the Suicide Squad or Guardians of the Galaxy. This is right up James Gunn's alley. You know, wacky misfit characters.
And he said he wrote every episode. He's already written every episode.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they're not actually Frankenstein. They don't. I'm sure because of film rights and stuff, they don't go by Frankenstein and stuff. There's a guy who got blown up in a landmine. They stitched him all together, and yeah, he's like a Frankenstein. There's a vampire and shit, and then there's a Wolfman. Yeah, so it looks like wacky, goofy shit that James Gunn is good at. You know?
So that's cool. That's cool. Like I said, I don't know anything about the Creature Commandos. However, in the New 52, I guess the leader of this group, Frankenstein, yes, he was called Frankenstein, but Frank for short, had his own run. And it was called Frankenstein Agent of Shade. Now, did Agents of Shade have anything? Does Shade have anything to do with Creature Commandos or anything?
Not that I read of.
Okay.
I mean, I barely. I mean, I was a little kid, so I.
Okay. Don't expect you to remember that. But the thing is,
I didn't follow these guys through the years. I just, oh yeah, I remember that shit.
Okay. Well, like I said, Frankenstein came out like 2011, even though, like I said, he's been with DC that entire time. Same
and I
guy.
remember that book, and I didn't make the connection. I mean, I remember.
Here's the thing: Jeff Lemire wrote that book.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, the guy that Gomer and all the podcast guys,
the greatest comic writer of all time.
Of all time, just fondle the balls of them and shit like that. So yeah, he wrote that book. He tied in the Swamp Thing because they made it where Frankenstein was like tied into the Rock or the Gray or some shit, something like that. He was tied in that. Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah, because he's like zombie, not zombie,
Didn't
whatever.
Jeff Lemire write Animal Man at the time?
He was writing all this shit. Animal Man, Swamp Thing, all this stuff. Yeah, he had like them do like this big crossover or something,
Yeah.
So Frankenstein had his own run, and it was the book called Agents of Shade. Basically, what the book was about was that he was with Agents of Shade, this government organization, and they gave him weapons to kill demons. Eli, who does that sound like?
Constantine?
Hellboy.
Oh,
it was Hellboy. It was just a Hellboy ripoff. I was like, damn, I almost felt bad reading it. I was like, damn, this is just Hellboy. But it was a good comic because Jeff Lemire wrote it. So yeah, so what someone say about it? So yes, it was awesome. So hopefully they'll do something like that. Creature Commandos. I don't know anything about it, but like I said, when you take these obscure characters like that, you can kind of just do whatever you want to do. Like I said, when James Gunn got Peacemaker is nothing like he is in the comics. But it gives you room to just do what you want. So yeah. Moving on next. What do we have next here? We have Waller. Okay. This is a weird one. Like, why are you doing an Amanda Waller show? But he is, so okay, I guess. But my thing is this. We already know it's going to be live action. It's going to be a TV show. And yes, Viola Davis is starring in it. Because if you got Viola Davis on the payroll, you use Viola Davis. She just won an EGOT tonight. So yeah. So she's in high demand right now. I don't know what they're going to do with it. Is she just going to is it going to be just her talking about her earlier days in the 80s, and we're going to get like a young, sexy Waller in the 80s and shit, like femme fatale her way through everything or something? I don't know. Or will she
Well, from what I understood, this was spinning out of Peacemaker.
Yes, it is spinning out of Peacemaker.
So
like
I guess
this, like she's going to use
Adebayo is going to be in it. I guess
Adebayo's her daughter. Yeah,
I'm sure
James Gunn's wife.
Hardcore is going to be.
Yeah, they pretty much said James Gunn's wife is the new Stan Lee in the James Gunn movies. So yeah, so all those people are going to be there. Everybody who's still alive. I wouldn't be surprised if Peacemaker shows up again. But yeah, now and like I said, Waller has pretty much ties into every spy organization in DC, like Checkmate and other places like that. They might pop up. So I don't know. I don't know what a Waller show will be. I'm excited for it just because Viola Davis coming back. We get more backstory on Waller, so why not? Let's see what else we got. Superman Legacy. Eli, this is the one I'm worried about the most. For good reason. Not well, like I said, this is supposed to be the start of the DC universe when this started, like James Gunn thing. My thing about this, now notice on the picture what's different between this one and the Snyderverse. He's smiling. So they're going to be a happier Superman. Going to be a younger Superman. Going to be like 25 or something like that. It says it's not going to be an origin story. I just don't want him to fight Lex Luthor again. I don't want him to fight Zod again. Give me somebody new. Give me Brainiac. Give me Parasite. Give me anybody. I don't give a fuck. Toy Man, somebody. Give me somebody new. I want to see where they go from that. But if you check the comments, you already know where the comments are going with there. Everybody just bashing this move right now. Bring back Henry Cavill. Fire James Gunn. All the stuff like that. So this movie alone, in my opinion, is going to make or break James Gunn universe. If he gets this right, everything else smooth sailing. He gets this wrong, everything else fucked up. No Creature Commandos, no Waller. You don't get Superman right, you're done. And he got an uphill battle because people already don't want a new Superman. They just want Henry Cavill just doing whatever the hell he was doing and just in it again. My thing about this, like I said on the episode before then, Superman existed before Henry Cavill. Superman will exist after Henry Cavill. So whoever they find next is going to be the version that they want to do. So, yeah. So what do we got next?
And this is a 10-year plan.
Right. Even though I think they only gave us like 3 years or some shit ahead of time. So basically they're rolling it out, but they're just giving us a taste. This is a taste right now. So this isn't the entire of phase 1, the chapter 1 of it. This is just a taste he's giving us. So yeah. What do we got next? Green Lantern Legacy. No, I'm sorry, Lanterns. I'm getting confused. I'm getting all my shit confused. All right. So this show they have been trying to make forever. They've been trying to stick it on the CW. They were trying to stick it on DC Universe. They were trying to stick it on HBO Max. It was always going to be it was always somebody different. It was going to be Guy Gardner. It was going to be Alan Grant. It was going to be Jessica Cruz. Just everybody they can think about. But no, this was going to be like a buddy cop detective drama starring Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart. That's what it's going to be about. It's going to be on Earth. So let's think with that. So
because I know that's cheap.
Exactly. Because like I said, HBO, I mean, DC, they don't have the deep pocket like you used to have before. So they're under Discovery, and Discovery is known for making cheap TV shows. So as cheap as they can go. Everything's a reality show. So they're just going to go with that. This might even be the hard traveling heroes. We would think about it might just be that. They're just riding around in a van, you know. I mean, am I super excited about this? I would have been super excited about this if I knew they were going to be in space and they were throwing a gajillion dollars at it and they were flying through O and shit like that. And I already know this isn't going to be that. So you might get a glimpse of that or something like that, but that's about it. So yeah, what else we got? The Authority. Okay, this one has my attention. The Authority. Even though I've never read an Authority book before, at least not the one that everybody else knows. I haven't read one of those. Eli, have you read The Authority? Familiar with it?
A little bit back in the day. It was never my thing.
Yeah. Everybody praise it. It's just the thing, you know, it's just the most awesome thing ever.
It's just, I mean, it's nothing we haven't seen before. I think this might have been the blueprint for like the asshole superhero team.
Pretty much. You know? I mean, I think, yeah, everybody that does an asshole superhero is just doing The Authority.
They're Invincible, like the boys.
The boys. It's all this. It all came from this, you know. So I haven't read it before, and it's very interesting because, like I said, the main thing James Gunn is saying that all of this is connected because we got to have a connected universe. I know people saying you connect universe doesn't matter. It matters. That's the reason Ant-Man makes $500 million a movie. Because it's connected. Because we got to watch Ant-Man to find out what the hell happened in Avengers movies. If it was just Ant-Man just by itself, we wouldn't watch this shit. So same thing with this. So you want to have all this stuff get tied together? That's what we get. So we got an Authority asshole superheroes that the boys are based on existing in the same universe as Superman, who's supposed to be Boy Scout, hopeful, whatever, you know. Yeah. So interesting how they, you know, interact with each other. Are they going to fight? Is Superman going to lead the Authority? Because in the comics, he does lead the Authority. Like you get like that whole Superman Authority by Grant Morrison. He wrote that. So yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. That was the last. Yeah, I read some of that.
We reviewed the podcast.
Yeah, I mean the Authority came out of Wildstorm, which was from an old Image book that they folded into the DC universe. So.
Yeah,
maybe that is like this, you know, the whole multiversal thing. Maybe this is connected. The whole, you know,
they're in there. No, they're in there.
Yeah, I know, but they came from another. They come from another universe or whatever.
Yeah, but I think they're trying to make it where it's just like this isn't multiverse. It's just like they're there. You know, for those that don't know how did they get here? Because I know some people were figuring out like how is the Authority with DC? Because when Jim Lee took the head job at DC. He brought all his people because he was over Wildstorm. Still is over Wildstorm. Some other people we'll talk about that later on. So yeah, that's it. One of the main things that you know that people know about the Authority, other than like that inspiration for the boys and Invincible and things like that, is Midnight and Midnighter and Apollo. Basically, not Batman and not Superman, basically. So my thing is, if you're gonna have them, why don't that's an easy way to get back Ben Affleck and Henry Cavill, you know, because they're just playing a version of it anyway. Here's the thing, Eli, people didn't get the joke I was doing, because some people got the joke, some people didn't get the joke.
Yeah, I was like, get them to make out. We can finally get
boom, exactly. Because people that's the main thing about the Authority people don't know is that their Batman and Superman version of them are gay lovers and they got married, you know. So I think when that movie does come out, Eli, I think that's gonna overshadow everything. People are not gonna talk about that asshole version of The Boys, Invincible, or Brightburn, or whatever like that. Nope, Batman and Superman are fucking. That's the only thing they're gonna take a moment. Woke this, woke that. That's what's gonna go on. So that will be interesting. So yeah.
Even though this goes back to the 90s and shit.
Right, but it's woke now. Yeah. Even though they've already done this shit. Yeah. Just because you heard about it first, I'll make it woke. But yeah. What do we got next? We got Paradise Lost. This is a Wonder Woman show without Wonder Woman. This is another Gotham, Krypton. It's one of those shows. I'm just like, why do they keep doing these? Nobody wants to see these. Themyscira was never fleshed out. Themyscira is not some place I want to visit, you know. I mean, a bunch of hot Amazon models, sure, but I mean, just a place I just want to go there. Like, nah. Then they're gonna say it'd be another Game of Thrones. I'm like, I don't know. Yeah, not my thing, but
I don't believe I've read that book, the Wonder Woman book that this is based on.
This is supposed to be based on. But the thing is, like, Wonder Woman isn't even going to be in the show. They said it takes place before the movie. Which, why are you saying it takes place before the movie? This is a reboot. So that's just confused, man. They don't know. Like, they're keeping some shit, leaving some shit. So they basically like everybody can come back except Henry Cavill. You know, like, damn, James Gunn. So I don't know. What do we got next? We got next. Oh, this one I'm kind of sort of a little bit excited for. Oh, not that one. This one. Yeah, a little bit excited about Booster Gold. So I know Booster Gold, you do it in Booster Gold movies, you dig it in the crates. Booster Gold is obscure. Like, a lot of people don't know about Booster Gold. There you go. This Booster Gold right there. For you don't know about Booster Gold is that he is a dude from the future that came back in the past, basically become a superhero to get famous and get money. Because the thing is, like, if you're from the future, like I'm here now. Let's say I take my iPhone and my car and I go back 200 years in the past. They're gonna look at me like a superhero because I got all this crazy shit, all this technology like that. Same thing with him. His technology advance makes him look like a superhero. So he's a fun character.
Yeah, because wasn't he like a janitor in a museum or some shit?
Yeah, he was janitor in a museum and in a superhero museum. So everything he wears, he stole. You know, he just put the shit on. Like, he flies because he had a Legion ring then, and he's got like some kind of weird exosuit. Like, in his time, everybody has one. But since he's in present time, they're like, "Ooh, you must be a superhero," you know. So he's not really a superhero. He's a fuck up. He uses his time thing to since he's from the future, he thinks he can predict when things gonna happen, but he keeps fucking that up. So he's just a big fuck up superhero. So the thing is, he's like a comedy type superhero. He's not hardcore. He's not Deathstroke. He doesn't kill and say cool shit. He's a James Gunn superhero. That's basically.
Yeah, I was about to say this is right up his alley.
This is right up his alley. A lot of this shit is right up the alley. Creature Commandos, right up James Gunn alley. This right up James Gunn alley. So yeah, so this is about the most James Gunn you can get. So I get it. I've been asked for a Booster Gold show movie or something like this for a while. And plus, you can do this cheap. You want to save money? You can do this because it's just him. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah. What else we got? This is what we got. Okay. Brave and the Bold. Here we go. So for those who don't know what Brave and the Bold is, this is going to be obviously the MVP of the lineup because this is Batman and Robin. It's really just Batman and Robin without calling it Batman and Robin, you know. But it's not just Batman and Robin. It's the debut of Damian Wayne. So yes, the GOAT Robin, the best Robin. Everybody knows it. I don't know why we keep complaining about this. Like I said, he is the GOAT. He is a ninja assassin. James Gunn specifically called him a son of a bitch, which means, okay, he understands source material.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So yeah, that's what he
I
is.
don't like him, but yeah, he's a definitely interesting character.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I said, complete asshole, thinks he's better than everybody.
Yeah. A little pompous little shit.
Right, which is why I like him. That's what I like about him. My only thing about it is that he keeps showing this thing And the thing is that that's not Bruce Wayne. That's actually Dick Grayson in that one.
That's Nightwing, yes.
That's Nightwing, yeah. Because the thing is that Damian Wayne wasn't Bruce Wayne's first Robin. He was Dick Grayson's first Robin. So and then later on he got with Bruce Wayne later on. But that's who he got close with. That's why like Nightwing's like the only person that can stand him. Because kind of like
that's Dick. Because Dick is cool.
He's cool, yeah. So if anybody get along with Damian,
Dick is not a dick like Bruce,
right? Damian is a dick, but yeah. So and the thing is, I don't know why they call it Brave and the Bold when they should have called it the name that Grant Morrison called it in the comics, Batman and Son. Because I think it's just the dumbest ass name for a comic book. Just call it Batman and Son.
Well, Brave and the Bold is like the goofier side of Batman,
right?
And I think again, right up James Gunn's alley. James Gunn does goofy,
right? And
campy shit.
As soon as you brought that up, you made me think about something else. I think that one might hurt this movie. Because here's the thing: they're coming out with a new Batman movie, but then they're still coming out with the other Batman movie, Robert Pattinson.
Yeah,
still making it. So yeah, and as a matter of fact, I think that comes out the same year as the Superman movie comes out. So do you think that's going to confuse people that you got Twilight Batman and goofy Silver Age Batman?
Dark brooding Batman. Then you're gonna have goofy, bat tootsie and shit.
Right. I don't know. That might confuse people. I don't know. That's the thing. So we'll have to see. I think that's the only thing I heard. But I honestly, even with that, I think this is going to be the winner. There's going to be the highest grossing movie of this whole list.
Yeah, I mean, and if they're trying to like replicate Marvel's success has been hooking people who don't read comics,
right?
So yeah, we'll see how that goes. If they're going to give us two different
and I keep forgetting there's people that don't know who Damian Wayne is. I just imagine everybody knows who he is, but no, he's never been live action before.
No,
few comic books and video games, but live action never been there. So, and the thing is, like Robin in the zeitgeist and public opinion is still like this goofy looking, silly character. Like, why is he here? So when people see this ninja assassin run around just off of people's head or whatever he might do in this show, people are like, "Whoa, that's Robin! What the fuck?"
Yeah, I'm sure most people don't know who Nightwing is, or that there's a bunch of Robins.
There's a bunch of Red Hood, Nightwing. Yeah, that's the thing. And the thing is, Nightwing has to exist in this universe because Robin was Dick Grayson's nickname. You just can't just name people Robin. I mean, it's Robin is Dick Grayson. Everybody else just follows in his footsteps. So yeah.
And he mentioned that this is going to be that he's going to introduce the Bat family. So we're going to get multiple members of, the Bat family, and
right. So they all got to come back.
Dick is definitely part of that.
Yeah, if you're gonna have the Bat family, you gotta have Batgirl. All the people like that. So
spoiler and
Yeah. So like 5 Robins. I forgot. So
yeah.
What do we got next? Okay, so next one we got is Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. Okay, so here's the thing. People are like, another Supergirl movie? Why? But here's the thing. Eli, I read this book this weekend. Well, this week. It took me. It's like 8 issues. It's like real quick. It's in and out. It's a one-off story. It's Tom King wrote it. And yes, it is a very Tom King book. Because Tom King loved to just deal with like trauma and all of his heroes just fucked up. And it really was an 8-issue therapy session. It really was. Because if you really think about it, Supergirl is a much more fucked up character than Superman. Like, for people who don't know who Supergirl is, the thing is, Superman, when he came from Krypton, he came as a baby. So he knew nothing about Krypton. Anything he knows about Krypton, he heard, from other people, offhand. Meanwhile, Supergirl grew up there. She knows people. She was there when Krypton blew up. A piece of Krypton flew away from it, and those people died later. So she had to watch them die also. So she's like super fucked up, and they send her here to rescue her baby cousin, who now she lives in the shadow of her baby cousin. So the book opens up with her like getting drunk and shit. Like she's like fucked up. So, and she's like curses all the time, stuff like that. So she's a different type of Supergirl than what we've known before. I've heard people refer to this story as True Grit, which I had looked up True Grit of what that story was about. I was like, yeah, it's there. It's inspiration, but it's not just that. So basically, like True Grit in space, you can say it's inspiration for that, but it's not just that. So it's a lot of stuff going on in this book. You're gonna get a different type Supergirl. like I said, if we wanted to say a Supergirl through James Gunn's lens, this is that. So yeah, this is another James Gunn project that makes sense for James Gunn. So I can see this working. You know, what else we got? And this is the big one. This one to me is just as big as Superman right now.
Yeah.
Like you got to get this right. You can't fuck this up. This is Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing, you can't get wrong. Now I know a lot of people like Swamp Thing. What's the big deal about Swamp Thing? Here's the thing: Swamp Thing, like the Swamp Thing Alan Moore comics, are my favorite comics ever. It's one of the best runs of all time. It's there. Some awesome stories was in Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing is a horror comic. You can't be with horror elements. You're doing it wrong if you do that. It has to be knee deep, smack dab, balls deep in horror in order for Swamp Thing to work. Otherwise, it don't work. Just flat out. So, Eli, if you don't approve of this movie, it flops.
Yeah, because this is the one I'm excited for.
This is the one. If this has to pass the Eli test, you know. So yeah, and
that show was awesome, and it sucks that they never continued it because that was great.
They canceled it after the first episode. You're like, why? You know,
and it was awesome. It was great. You know?
Right. So the movie has to up that. You know, other things that was going on, and plus Swamp Thing is your end because a lot of things debut in Swamp Thing. Like I said, when we talked about the red and the green and the clear, stuff like that, that's like the fundamentals of the DC universe. Mm-hmm. That has to be established in Swamp Thing for Swamp Thing to work. Like that has to be there. Plus, Constantine debuted in a Swamp Thing comic. So if you want to have Keanu Reeves in these movies, there you go. He's there. You got your end, you know. But wait, there's more. The Justice League Dark debuted in Swamp Thing. Well, a version of them. Like I said, he had to go to hell to rescue his girlfriend. So he was like, I'm going to assemble a team. So we started getting like Constantine, the Etrigan the Demon, and Dead Man, and all these Spectre and stuff like that. And then went to hell and started kicking ass, you know. So that was like the first time the Justice League Dark, you know, or a version of them showed up. So that's your way in right there. So like I said, this and Superman are the two hardest movies they have to get right. But the movies they have to get right. Because if you fuck these up, you're done. Your universe is done, you know. So
yeah, and I heard they're in talks with James Mangold. And I'm like, man.
But he's a good director. Maybe not a hard director, but he's a good director. You know?
I mean, yeah, Logan and, you know, was it Copland? I mean, he but then I'm like, Guillermo del Toro, what the fuck? He stated
and he wrote Justice League Dark. Like he wrote the script and they put it on the shelf like they always do.
Yeah, man. It's like, you know, I don't know. But yeah, I'm stoked for a Swamp Thing flick. It's probably the big thing that I'm excited for. You
know. So, like I said, they and now this is my thing about this. Like all the stuff he's named is kind of like real obscure. Yeah, he's got Batman, he's got Superman in there, but it's some real obscure stuff he's naming. How do you think it's going to do, like in the general public? Now, do you think this is going to put DC back in like in a good grace of people, or you think like that's just like this just too weird? People ain't going to get with this shit.
I think James Gunn has proven that he can take goofy characters and make us care about them. But we got to remember, no one gave a fuck about Iron Man. You know,
that's true.
So
he was C-list at best. Yeah.
If you do it right, you know, people will give a shit. Like you said, Ant-Man. You know, I'm a comic fan. I still don't give a shit about Ant-Man. You know, but people care about it. People like him, you know.
But like I said, the reason they care because they have to care. Because if you don't watch Ant-Man, you won't understand this, and that, and the other movies, you know.
But I keep telling that story when it was at Civil War, when watching the Civil War movie opening night in the theater, Spider-Man comes on the screen, no one gives a shit. But when they open the door of the van and Ant-Man is sitting there, everyone started cheering. I'm like, what the fuck?
Because it's Paul Rudd. That's the thing. Yeah. People just love Paul Rudd. So yeah.
I mean, yeah, we had like 3 Spider-Man movies or 4 before that. But still, I was like, damn, no love for Spider-Man, and Ant-Man gets all this applause and shit. But yeah, I mean, when done right, I think people will care. But yeah, this is weird. Authority and, you know, yeah, like you said, no one really knows who Damon Wayne is other than comic book fans. But we'll see, you know.
My thing is this. My biggest concern, because here's DC's biggest problem. People think their biggest problems is their movies. It's not. It's a big problem, but it's not the biggest problem. The biggest problems aren't the movies they make. It's the movies they don't make. Because they cancel every damn thing. They announce shit and cancel it. They announce new guys, gone. They announce like a Steven Spielberg Nighthawk movie, Black Hawk movie, gone. They made Batgirl, gone. They do this stuff all the time. They're just like, fuck it. So my thing is this.
No Cyborg movie?
No Cyborg movie, So is DC going to stick it out if it don't hit the numbers?
Justice. You figure they'd announce a Justice League movie or something.
No, I'm glad they didn't. I'm glad they didn't announce a Justice League movie. They need to reestablish themselves. They need to rebuild, start from the ground up. Don't start with your heavy hitters. Of course, Batman and Superman, of course, start with them, get them right. But as far as a Justice League, and I do feel like they're building towards that, but they're easing their way in like they should have done the first time.
Yeah.
Instead of just, here's these two guys, Justice League, have at it.
Let's kill Superman in his second movie.
Right.
I mean, I think Zack Snyder wanted to replicate those big comic book stories like Kingdom Come or All-Star Superman and show the, I get what he was trying to do, but he didn't make us care about him enough for us to have that impact.
Right.
You know what I mean?
We got to care about the cat, and it can't just be just cool action scenes to make us care.
They took 10 years to kill Iron Man, and goddamn, and they milked it for a half hour.
Exactly. And he wasn't back the next movie. That's the thing.
Yeah.
He wasn't in the promotional material of the next movie. So.
Yeah, they kill Superman in his second movie, and what the hell? And
a movie he was barely in. Batman was in it more than he was.
And he gets his ass whooped by Batman. He gets his ass whooped by Doomsday.
And then he's killed off. But we're supposed to care.
I think the problem that DC's having up to this point is they don't know. It's like they're trying to shove. They don't know what makes us. It's like they can't capture why these characters are special or why they're so unpopular. You know what I mean? They don't get to the essence. And
that's the problem with a lot of people that work on comic book movies that don't like comic books.
Yeah,
they're thinking that there must be something wrong with Superman. Let's make a movie for people that don't like Superman. No, just make Superman.
Yeah.
You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Just do that. You don't have to deconstruct him or anything like that. Just do Superman.
Yeah, it's like they just say, oh, well, you're supposed to give a shit about them because he's Superman. This is Batman. This is Wonder Woman. You're just supposed to care.
Right.
And whereas Marvel took the time to make us care. Yondu dies and we're all tearing up and shit.
Exactly.
Superman dies and I don't give a fuck.
We're like, is this movie over? Can I go now? So take the time. And I feel like James Gunn will understand that because the first thing he said was the story comes first. So yes, interconnected universe does matter because I do think that DC stopped being so concerned about the connected universe and they start just making movies. And I think the moment that people start getting confused about whether or not all this is connected, they stop caring. So it doesn't matter whether movies are good or not. If I know Birds of Prey is going to show up in another Just League movie, why should I watch this movie? Why should I watch Shazam if it's not going to show up? If he's not going to show up in Black Adam, what's the point? Yeah. So it's not connected, and people just they don't care. So hopefully this will. I don't know. It's going to be a slow start. But my thing about DC, what I'm scared of, is if the numbers don't hit out the gate. Let's say Superman does Black Adam numbers, will they just say, fuck it and just pull out immediately? Will they just do the opposite of Nick Cannon and just pull out, or will they go with it and keep going and ride it out and see what they do? Because that's another thing. They did kind of cut Zack Snyder off at the knees. They were like, this is it, get out of there. My Batman v Superman didn't make $1 billion. You're fired, So hopefully they don't expect Booster Gold to hit $1 billion, ease people into this
Booster
shit.
Gold a movie or a show?
I'm sorry, it's a TV show. What is a movie? What did they name those movie? Authority.
Authority, yeah.
Let's say Authority doesn't hit $1 billion. Are they just gonna just shelf this shit right now?
Yeah, and if you want to do Authority right,
it's got to be rated R.
And Swamp Thing right, you got to have it rated R.
It's got to be rated R, exactly.
But then Deadpool was rated R, and that did pretty good, enough for a sequel and stuff. I mean, it didn't do Endgame numbers, but still,
But I mean, for a rated R movie, that was the highest it was until Joker, which was the first billion-dollar already movie,
Yeah. So it's like it's possible to do the things that need to be done. And I think James Gunn knows how to create characters we care about. Take like even Peacemaker, this asshole, this racist asshole. We loved him.
Right.
His dad was a Nazi, and like we totally fell in love with this character, and because James Gunn, fleshed him out and gave us,
and not just him. I fell in love with all the characters. Job, James Gunn's wife, Adebayo, Adebisi, like all of them. Yeah, I was like, the one that was even secretly evil bug, that guy, him. I was like, I was into everybody.
Yeah,
so
Vigilante and shit.
Vigilante, so they made me do that. So I mean, like I said, he's shown that he can do that. He bring that same heart to DC. He should be okay. Now the good thing about it is like he's not hands-on on everything. Like I said, I don't think he's writing Swamp Thing, which I don't want him to write Swamp Thing. He's getting other people on there.
And I think I share the same concerns with you for Superman.
Yeah.
Like I don't want some zany, wacky Superman,
I don't want a Superman movie with Dad Rock popping up all over the place and stuff like that. I don't give me that.
Or weird. And let's not just say that there hasn't been weirdness. I mean, Superman comics are kind of weird.
Superman comics are kind of weird. So
yeah. But I hope he doesn't lean into the weirdness too much.
Right.
You know what I mean?
We don't need him to like wink at the camera or anything like that. We need him like, even if it gets weird, he takes it seriously.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, but in the end, Superman is a symbol of hope, and as long as you get that right, I think you're okay. I think you're fine.
It's going to be the toughest one. The Superman movie and Swamp Thing movie are going to be his toughest movies to pull off because they're just difficult projects to translate. Now, honestly, I don't think Superman is as tough to do as Swamp Thing to translate. I just think they just haven't tried. I mean, they keep trying to reinvent Superman.
Swamp Thing can get fucking weird,
Swamp Thing can get really weird. It really can. And Swamp Thing is a little bit hard to translate because it's, like I said, I don't know, it just
once you start dealing with the green and the different dimensions and eating yams to have sex
or get high or
get high, whatever you want to call it, but it's very ethereal and what's the word? Esoteric? You know what I mean? It's like it's very psychedelic and
surreal. It really is, and I don't know. Is that too much for like the average comic? I mean, average
dimensional shit. But then, if we can get into Doctor Strange, which kind of deals.
Doctor Strange always feel very surface level though. Yeah. Like it pretends to be esoteric and pretends to be surreal, but at the end of it, it's really just Iron Man just tripping on balls.
It is heady. Yes, Swamp Thing gets very heady and psychological and very deep, philosophically deep. I mean,
right? Like, what does it mean to be a man? All this stuff.
With all nature, the nature of humanity, the nature of nature. There's nature in general.
Right.
And, deep shit. But
so I don't know. That's the thing. Like I said, I love the Swamp Thing book. I don't know how you translate, but like I said, I don't have that job. I'm glad I don't have that job to translate it. But the TV show translated it.
Yeah, but the TV show
was awesome.
But it was working its way. We didn't get into that heady shit. Yeah, it was only the first season where it was just like him becoming Swamp Thing. It was just basically body horror. It was just basically John Carpenter's The Thing.
And you had time to work your way into it also. Like to really get into
Swamp Woodrow, Flabonik Man was introducing him, and we're slowly going into that weird interdimensional mind fuck that Swamp Thing can be.
They almost ate yams and had sex on there. I think Swamp Thing
didn't he eat the roots or something?
Well, something like that. I think he gave Abby a yam, and then he turned back in like the regular Alec Holland guy. They didn't bang anything like that. They were just like, "Ew, see, this is what I look like."
Woodrow was like frying up some turnips or something, or some roots. I remember one of the last episode. Yeah.
It was.
But they didn't he didn't trip out or anything. There wasn't no, weird Pink Floyd interlude.
Oh man. So like I said, if anybody have it, we highly recommend the Swamp Thing book. I highly recommend and that's the thing about all these, the thing what DC is doing differently is that all of these seem to be based on comic storylines. They're not just pulling shit out their ass. Like, it's not Shazam fighting old ladies. They actually doing storylines. Supergirl World of Tomorrow, Booster Gold. I'm pretty sure they're gonna do from the original Booster Gold run. It wasn't that long, but it's pretty straightforward. Brave and the Bold. Like I said, you're doing the Grant Morrison run. Grant Morrison. Like, if we take Scott Snyder out of the picture, that may be my favorite Batman run of all time. That was just I actually in the Dark Knight Returns. There's been a lot of Batman runs. Like, you got that. Dark Knight Returns, and then Grant Morrison's run is just right there, because it was just that, and that's one of the runs that I like reread, because that Batman and Robin run when Dick Grayson was Batman and Damian was Robin, but Robin was acting like Batman and Batman was acting like Robin. Like, this shit was so trippy.
Yeah, it was like a switch, because
it was like a switch because
Dick
Damian was acting like the alpha male, right?
Yeah, and then you had Damian, you had Robin, who was the brooding asshole.
Right? Yeah. I'm like, this is so weird, man. But it was awesome,
Yeah.
So I'm hoping they do that again. It's just awesome. I'm excited for DC, but the thing is, I'm not the guy you have to sell. You don't have to sell me. All James had to say, here's my list. Look at it, and I'm there. All I need to know is just what time. But I'm not the guy you have to sell on this stuff. You do have to sell the general public on this stuff, and I think it's gonna be a case by case scenario. You have to get the Snyder people on board. You have to, because even if they don't see it, they're gonna go out of their way to make bad press about it, so other people don't see it.
You gotta
exactly. They can do it. They've done it before. They will do it again.
Snyder bots and the Gunn bots.
All you're gonna hear is the people that don't give a shit about this shit. All you're gonna hear them say, "Well, I heard it sucked." Well, who you hear it from? You didn't know who you heard it from. You heard it from these assholes. So and that's gonna tank them before they even get started. So
all you gotta see is hashtag fire James Gunn. We're already seeing it.
That's all you're seeing now.
You've been seeing that shit.
You've been seeing it.
Yeah.
Oh man. And here's the thing: if you don't like James Gunn, it's okay. His contract is only up to like 2025, 2026 anyway. If these movies flop, they firing him anyway. So
he'll just go back to Marvel.
Let's go back to Marvel. Well, he can't go back there, but he'll do something. He'll go back to Trauma somewhere. Oh yeah. All right. Let me see if we can move on to the next part of the podcast.
Sure.
I think we talked about the movie side enough. I think it's now time to talk about the comics. So we're just gonna jump into the comics and go into it. Eli, I'm gonna let you go first, and we'll see. We'll go from there, depending on what you want to do.
Well, should I just do this? I'll just do this Creature Commandos.
At the gate? You don't want to warm up to it?
Yeah, well, there's a slow week.
Just go in dry? Okay.
Yeah, let's just get this over with.
Okay.
Oh shit, I didn't save that. I didn't get that image, damn it. Shit. Let me I know I got No, there's the link that I sent you.
Yeah. Well, I sent myself, but your link didn't work, but
download. So it was a slow week, y'all. And I didn't know what to get. And then when I heard all the announcement, I went to DC Universe and found this the Creature Commandos.
They got a whole list on DC Commandos called Gods and Monsters, which is the name of this. They want you to. And matter of fact, the funny thing about it, if you go to like Facebook and you click on like, if you want to know more about these heroes, click here. It sends you to a link to DC Universe.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's pretty smart right there, DC.
Yeah.
I give you credit on that.
And I haven't seen this shit since like I was a kid,
Is that a bear? No, that was a werewolf. You just said it was a werewolf.
Oh, a bear.
It's like some Doom Patrol shit. Kind of like.
So I forget which number this is.
Now here's the thing: before you get started on that Spider-Man cartoon, Marvel ripped them off because they had a team with Blade, Werewolf by Night, the Living Mummy, Man Thing, and they called them the Howling Commandos. Like,
okay. Oh yeah.
So Marvel just ripped them off. But
So this is just a comic. Yeah, like I said, Creature Commandos. They're fun, campy tribute to Universal monsters. You have a Frankenstein, you have a Dracula, you have a Wolfman, and this Medusa chick. And they fight Nazis during World War II. This issue, they go to Africa. They're holding some territory in Africa for General Patton. He's on his way. And they end up in a pyramid, and they drink wine that ends up shrinking them into small, like action figure size.
Okay.
Everybody drinks the wine except Medusa. So you have little tiny Dracula and Frankenstein and Wolfman, and they're like, "Oh shit, what are we gonna do?" Because we got to defeat this army and hold this base, hold this territory, because the Allies are coming. But they do. They end up taking the base, and so the Frankenstein character, he's like really strong. He's like the Hulk. So there's a panel where it shows him like carrying a machine gun. He's a little tiny guy. He's like tiny because he drank this shrinking wine, and he's carrying a machine gun by himself. And but they end up taking the squad. The other two, Dracula, he can fly. He can turn into a bat. He plants bombs around the base, and then of course Medusa just rolls up with the machine gun and starts taking out Nazis and shit. It's just stupid, campy goofiness. They end up taking out the base, and then General Patton shows up, and that's all good. It's just, there's nothing really deep about this. It's just campy fun, like a campy, like I said, throwback to Universal Monsters, and yeah, it was a slow week, so I decided to read it. So that's all. In preparation or whatever. Just like I said, I vaguely remembered this as a kid, so, and I forgot all about it until he announced the movie, and I was like,
it's kind of like Guardians of the Galaxy, when they announced that movie, and I'm like, who? And then I looked at my comic book collection, and I realized I collected them back in the 90s. I'm like, I forgot.
Yeah.
But yeah. So
yeah, I mean, it was just goofy fun.
I mean, I'm excited for it because, like I said, it does leave room for James Gunn to do whatever he wants to with them.
Yeah.
Other than you, nobody else going to be like, that's not like the source material.
Yeah, and I don't even give a shit. And he can probably that's probably what he's going to do. He's probably going to. I would hope this is going to be like the Harley cartoon, where it's like violent and gory, and they can swear and just
I mean, it's going to be on HBO Max.
Do what you want, and that's probably where James Gunn can, get his rocks off, so to speak. With stuff like this. So I actually look forward to this. I mean, like, I was really excited, and then when I heard about it, but then I thought it was going to be a movie. Like, if they made this a movie, I'm like, holy shit.
Well, here's the thing. Okay, here's the thing. Okay, another thing we've got to announce with James Gunn is that yes, it's going to be an animated show. However, everybody he's casting, he has in mind to play it live action in case he wants to. Yeah. So you may see them live action. It very well be possible
if it's that successful and stuff. And right now, horror is like in vogue big time. I mean,
right.
Last year was a big year for horror movies, and I think this would sell like hotcakes right now.
Well, I mean, like I said, you could make your money back, and the horror, you don't have to spend a whole lot of money. Matter of fact, if you spend a lot of money on horror movies, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, I mean, they were trying to do that universal shared universe that bombed.
Immediately, because they turned Dracula into Batman or some shit.
Yeah, and I didn't even see that Tom Cruise Mummy movie. I heard it sucked.
I didn't see it either. They said it was so terrible, like just don't watch it.
But they were gonna have, they were supposed to. I heard like Guillermo del Toro was supposed to make the Frankenstein or the creature.
Yeah,
but, and then he ended up making Shape of Water instead.
Right,
because how that shit folded.
What's the dude that played? Shit, never mind. I can't remember his name.
Javier. Fuck's his name? Anton Chigurh.
Russell Crowe. Russell Crowe was in that Mummy movie. He was in the whole time like mentoring Tom Cruise.
Wasn't he supposed to be Dr. Jekyll or something?
Exactly. At the end of the movie, it was realized he was Dr. Jekyll and Hyde. Right.
But the guy, he played that villain in one of the James Bond movies. He was supposed to be Frankenstein, and
I can see that.
Yeah. It was shaping up to be something cool, but then it fell apart because those first couple movies bombed, and they said, "Fuck it," But this could have been that
movie. It was just that movie.
Yeah, and this
movie is like, nope, we're out.
But like the Monster Squad, I'm a big fan of the Monster Squad. I watch it all the time. It's like a Halloween tradition for me. They had all the Universal monsters, but they couldn't name them. Well, they did say Wolfman, but they were able to get all the Universal monsters. But they had to change the designs of some of them.
Yeah, well, see, the thing is, I think all those monsters are public domain. Like Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, stuff like that. So you can do that, but you got to be careful what you do.
But I think they changed them, just the image just enough to where they got away with it. Like the creature who looks awesome in that movie doesn't look anything like he did.
Wait,
in
so
the
who
original.
produced Monster Squad? Was it Universal?
I don't remember.
Because if it was Universal, then it wouldn't matter.
No, it wasn't Universal. Because that's what I remember reading hearing the interviews with the filmmakers, and they said they had to do that. They had to change. Like they couldn't give Frankenstein that flat top or whatever,
Because that's from the Boris Karloff movie. So
yeah. So they had to change them. They had to tweak it just enough to where they could get away with it.
Interesting. And they'll probably do the same thing with this Creature Commandos.
Yeah.
So
because that's in the comics that they're not called. I think the Frankenstein guy's name is Velcro. Because they can't name them. They can't name Frankenstein and Dracula. And
that book I read, he was Frankenstein. They just straight up called him Frankenstein. It's like, Frank, what up?
So well, maybe at the time when they first came out back in the 80s, yeah, I'm sure they didn't own the rights to that shit. I think probably Marvel might have. Marvel had Tomb of Dracula.
Oh, right. Marvel had the rights to all this stuff, so they couldn't use it. Because Marvel had Dracula. Like straight up Dracula.
Tomb of Dracula, yeah. And Werewolf by Night and all that shit.
Yeah. So all right. So first book I'm going to do, I'm gonna knock out two at one time. I'm gonna just run through them as quick as possible. The first one I'm going to do is, like I said, it is Black History Month. So DC, of course, dropped their big, huge book on us, and it was, where is it? DC Power and Celebration, #1. I am not going to review this whole thing. I'm not even going to review most of it. This is a 100-page book. Now, the reason, like I said, it was a 100-page book. I didn't see how much it was. The reason I got a chance to read it because it was on DC Universe. So it's on DC Universe. It's a whole bunch of books. It's let me see if I can put it up there. Where are you? No, there you go. No, there you go. Add the stream. Okay. Oh, wrong one. What was I doing? Anyway, doesn't matter. I just talk about it. Okay. Yeah, I completely messed up. Technical difficulties, doesn't matter. We're going to do it. Anyway, bunch of stuff happened in the book. What happens? You got a book with Amazing Man fighting the racist robots. You got what's the name? Black Lightning, his kids fighting a school shooting. You got Aquaman, not Aquaman, Aqualad and Kid Flash teaming up doing something. But yeah. Oh, and Vixen and Batwing are a thing. So it's a bunch of other stories on there too, but that's the thing of it. And we're going to pick it up because I feel like this is a test bed. Cyborg had a story in there also, and I think the same team in that book is going to do his solo book coming up later on this year. So it's kind of like a testing bed. It's basically like DC figuring out what hero works, what black hero they can put money in, what when they can't. So yeah, that's the thing. Next one I'm going to do is Harley Quinn. Now this one was funny. This is the Harley Quinn like Valentine's special, like that. Some funny shit going on. I wish I'm technically because I'm not gonna show you what happened. But the thing is with Harley Quinn, they had a whole bunch of love stories on there. Superman fixed up Power Girl with Jimmy Olsen, which I'm probably gonna review that book next week. We'll review that next week. Kite Man married his kite. I don't know why he just did. Yeah. And the thing was, Harley Quinn tricked all the female superheroes into a dinner, and they all told stories about how they almost hooked up with Aquaman. Kind of like in that Batman story, almost got him, like how they almost killed Batman.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So what they did is how they almost fucked Aquaman. Yeah, that's the story. So yeah. But it turns out, I think at the end of the book, it was like a twist. It turns out Harley was fucking Aquaman, and she was just trying to get stories on them to find out about Aquaman. And like, why is it like every time he turns around, Mara is in another dimension? So how he can get with these women to begin with? And they think, oh, Mara's not another dimension. You just tell people Mara's another dimension just to say that, So that was a book. Harley Quinn had the best part of it. It was the funniest part. I may review that Power Girl one next week, but because it's close to Valentine's Day, so we need a Valentine's book. So yeah, that's all I got. In and out. Move on. I got other books to do.
Oh shit.
So yeah. So what you got? Lou. Oh, don't tell me he went out again. He went out again. He'll be back. While he's out, let me see if I can pull up that thing about, because I do want to show you this one thing about. Oh, you back? Okay. I thought you went out again. I was about to feel. I was about to like really feel. See that one time when I did, but yeah, you're back. So yeah. So what book you at?
Well, I'll continue with DC, and I'll keep it quick because that's so I don't freeze again. I'll do this Flash 1 minute war.
I've been wanting to read this.
I I haven't read Flash in a while. It's been years since I've read a Flash book. So I did not know what the fuck was going on.
When was the last time we reviewed a Flash book on here?
I don't remember. I remember I was reading. Was it Joshua Williams? Was he read? Was anyone read that?
Yeah, he wrote. Josh Williams wrote it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Like a long. You know, that was the last we read when Reverse Flash whooped Batman's ass. The button.
Yeah. Oh damn. Yeah.
That was a while ago. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been a while. I haven't. I'm not current on Flash. I really did not know what was going on in this, but I'll try to like give you the gist. So there's this like alien race. They got some technology that can siphon power from the Speed Force, and they use it to power their planets and themselves. They're like it gives them superpowers and shit. And they're just going around like Galactus, just sucking planets dry of their power. And now they're heading to Earth. And I guess the Flash family have a minute to beat them. So this book was like broken up into a few chapters. Like the chapter 1, we get like an introduction to this. What are they called? The faction or the fraction or something? I can't remember. This alien race and how they developed this technology and the history of their race and how they became powerful, but through the Speed Force. And they're ruled by this empress. And this dude, this number 1 guy is, going around doing all her, dirty work for her. And they're heading to Earth. And then we go to all these other characters that I'm not familiar with. So apparently I think everybody like Wally and all those motherfuckers are dead, and Barry, and I guess they're dead. I don't know.
We really should have read that Dark Crisis. They probably all died.
Because I didn't know what the hell's going. So we get introduced to this one speedster. I think her name was Avery or something. I don't remember. I don't know.
I think she's been around. She's been around.
Yeah, I don't know. She fights one of those aliens, and then we get a couple more. Every chapter is just them fighting different things, these aliens or whatever. And in one, there's like a futuristic speedster comes back and meets the present day speedster and their boyfriend and girlfriend, and they make out. And I don't know what's going on, man. I don't know. I didn't know what was going on. So
many speedsters.
It was a light week. I didn't know what to get. I was like, oh, a Flash event, number 1. I'll jump right into this.
Well, that's the thing, because this has been going on for a while.
Yeah, it said number 1. This wasn't no number 1.
Yeah, the story already been going on, but yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it seemed, from what I understand, it's getting good reviews for those who are actually following this shit. But I don't know what's happening, so sorry. 2 out of 5.
It reminds me of that episode on Flash. I know you quit watching the Flash. Did you see the episode of the Flash when he had a minute to save everybody? Maybe not even that. Maybe like a second or something.
I don't remember. No, I don't.
Yeah, it was like he was in a place and the building had already exploded. Like a nuke had already went off. And he had like 5 seconds, something like that, like the entire episode to figure out how to stop it. So he Speed Force, and he would like tap Iris on and like give a little Speed Force so he could talk to her, stuff like that. Like, I miss you. It was a wild episode. It's probably the best episode.
I watched something recently where they had like a speedster. Now I can't remember. Fuck. Somebody had like some speedster powers and they were really. Oh, Sonic. I watched the Sonic movie.
That's what it was.
I watched Sonic.
Some fast motherfucker. I don't know who.
Some fast motherfucker that it was like going around and kind of it was like Quicksilver and like First Class or no.
Oh, like he froze time, because Sonic did that too. Like X-Men they were shooting stuff at him, and he froze time, and he was
and he was going through the bar and like.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah.
So
I like the Sonic movie better than this.
Okay. Like I said, it made my top 10. So yeah. All right. So next book I'm gonna start off with the easy one. We're gonna do Avengers number 65. This is still the Avengers Forever, because this book is taking forever to finish. So yeah. So hopefully Jason and Eric can kind of get to the point Let's see where we're going with this. Nope, not that. Not that. Not that. Not that. Where did I get it? I don't think I got the book. I don't think I got it. It's cool. Doesn't matter. Oh, that's it right there. Okay, so the point of this book is that we finally find out who is Avengers Prime. I had my theories. Gomer and the gang had their theories. I will say this. I was wrong. For once, I was wrong. Because I thought it was going to be Coulson. It's not Coulson. It's a whole nother guy. So let's get into it, see what we got. And boom, there you go. Let's find out who is Avenger Prime. So Avenger Prime is basically the main Avenger of the multiverse. He's the most powerful Avenger of the multiverse. And he's been controlling all the multiverse Avengers. And now this book, we find out who he is. So let's get to it. So turns out he is, I'll just spoil it. He's Loki. Loki from another dimension. So this Loki is different because in his universe, Thor died, but he didn't kill Thor. Mjolnir went crazy and flew Thor into the sun. That'll happen. So when that happened, Odin got so depressed, Loki just took over the throne, and that was it. So he took over the throne, had the Odin force also like that, and he just depressed. So he decided he got lonely because nobody in Asgard, to be friends with him. So he projects other Lokis through the multiverse to talk to him. And they sit there and they talk and they laugh and they drink stuff like that. And every time he does it, the Loki that he brings over tries to assassinate him every single time. So he's like, damn, I'm tired of this. So eventually he just stopped doing it. He stopped inviting Lokis over because he knew what was going to happen if you bring them over. So he decided to go to their universe and find out what makes Loki's pieces of shit, And he finds out that every universe he goes to that has a Loki, the same thing happens every single time. Loki starts shit and he gets stopped by the Avengers every single time. As a matter of fact, not only does he get stopped by the Avengers, the reason the Avengers are created is because of him. In every single universe, the Avengers form to stop Loki. That's why they start. It doesn't matter what timeline, doesn't matter what universe. That's just how it is. They kick Loki's ass and that's it. So he made a pledge to himself, no more Avengers. So he went back to his universe and he made sure that there will be no Avengers or anybody to avenge anything. So he made sure nobody's ever going to pick up Mjolnir. He made sure Captain America never got unfrozen from ice. He made sure Tony never kicked his drinking habit. He destroyed Wakanda. He killed off the Kree race. He made sure that, like Captain Marvel's like that, he made sure nobody could come for him. But the problem was killing off the Avengers brought in another problem. Because the thing is, the Avengers just don't fight him. They fight everybody. So the people that the Avengers normally would stop, like Galactus and the Celestials and Null and Red Skull and Thanos and stuff like that, since they're not here to stop him, it's Loki's problem to stop him. But since he got to fight all of them at one time, he got to use more magic than he ever used before. And the thing was, all the magic he uses takes up the life force of every single person on the planet. He sacrificed, the universe. He sacrificed his universe just to beat these guys because he wanted to be the first Loki that didn't lose. And so he would lose at no cost, even though he lost everything. So he's like, fuck this, I'm leaving, and flew into the sun. Off himself. So he thought that would be it, but it turns out he wakes up in another universe, which is the Quarry of the Gods, where the gods all go to die. But the thing is, they didn't kill him because he didn't fulfill his destiny. His destiny was supposed to be, he's supposed to form the Avengers. Since he didn't do what he's supposed to do, they'll let him die. So he decides to not only form some Avengers, he decided to form the multiverse Avengers, the biggest Avengers crew of all time. He forms them, and that's the building he saw. He decides to go recruit some more Avengers. While he go recruit some more Avengers, we go to present day time, and now he's got to fight the Doom above all. And he finds a multiverse version of Ego, who's really a Dr. Doom, who just sends a whole bunch of other Dr. Dooms, and they try to kill off all the Avengers in the multiverse. But Loki just standing there by himself and just wipes his finger away, and he, dudes win from other multiverses like they just wipes them away. They're gone. That's it. And the Avengers finally realized who he is, and they didn't know they were working for Loki the whole time. They were like, well, why should we trust you? He's like, the reason you should trust me is because I brought you presents. And the thing is, he's saying the presents he brought was more Avengers. I'm just cut to the end. So that's it. So he got more. Yeah. So he got the Avengers from the 616, like our Avengers. and the Avengers 1 million BC, and they're here in this shitstorm with the Doom above all, with all other Dooms across the multiverse about to fight, and that's it. That's the book. Yeah, the Doom above all. Yeah,
shit.
He's like the most powerful Doom in the multiverse, and it's the most powerful Loki in the multiverse going at it. So yeah, weird book. I'm just ready for the wrap up. But yeah.
I guess I'll go on to Marvel and do this Blade's daughter thing.
Now the thing is, I actually read this, but I'm gonna let you do it, even though I know it's Black. No, it's Black History Month.
You should do it, dude.
No, you do it, man. You have it.
Because I don't know if I'm good, if I'm the right one to do. I just thought this was all right. I wasn't really.
That's what I thought. Also, I mean, like I said, I had to be obligated to it because, like I said, it was a black writer, black drawer, a black comic book character. So it's like, but not go ahead. But it's horror. It's horror,
there was some controversy. There's like a bit of controversy because I guess Tim Seeley was supposed to write this.
Well, the thing is, I heard about Blade having a daughter like a long time ago. Was that not already a thing?
I guess she did appear in some Avengers. Like she's been appeared before.
But they're acting like this the first time she ever showed up. Like I said, I thought I've heard of that. I heard her being a thing.
Yeah. This isn't her first appearance.
Okay, but they're treating it like it is.
Yeah, this is her like story. I think this is like the prequel or something, her origin or so to speak, or whatever. Or just her first solo book, you know. But yeah, I heard Tim Seeley was supposed to write it, and then he stopped. He walked away and said no, like a black woman would probably do a better job writing this. So,
and he did get a black woman to write it, so yeah.
Yeah. So Blade's got a daughter. He had a white, that his old lady that he had
from the Tomb of Dracula comics, yeah.
Yeah. He had a wife, or he had a kid with her. They don't say why they're no longer a thing, but she obviously raised.
I think to protect from the vamp. Yeah.
Yeah. So she raised this kid as a single mom. Blade did leave her weapons and stuff to like protect her daughter and all that shit. But then she becomes a teenager and she starts developing her vampire powers, but they only happen at night. They only like work at night or some shit. So yeah, she goes out at night and basically fights vampires or whatever. Goes on the internet or whatever, and finds out where there's vampire sightings. There's a scene where her mom fights a vampire too. I don't know,
because she did it with Blade back in the day. So yeah, she's rusty, but she remembers some stuff.
Yeah, but this is very like young adult, like
yes,
bop, very like meant for like a teenage audience. It was there. It's like they were trying to replicate like the Spider-Man motif, or the teenage superhero. They're really leaning into that. Or like Kamala Khan comes to mind too.
Yeah, I can picture her being on the Young Avengers or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. Really leaned into that young adult, teenage, superhero thing.
What it reminded me of? You know what it reminded me of? What? Buffy.
Yes, that too.
This was Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Like that's all it was.
Maybe, and I think it leaned it a little too much for me to, be intrigued by it. I think you know what I mean. Maybe I'm old, or maybe I just want to see more vampire slaying. I don't know.
Yeah, because it really wasn't that. They killed like one vampire,
Yeah, I think Blade shows up at the end and says, "Oh, my daughter's doing some shit," and then that says to be continued. But he, but yeah, I wasn't really like I was kind of sold, but I wasn't. You know what I mean? I was like, the idea intrigues me. I just wasn't sure of the way of the story, and I feel it was a little bit too teeny boppery for me. I don't know.
Like you said, if they just redoing, Buffy Vampire Slayer, just making it black, then go for it, Disney. Have your fun in it. This very feel like a Disney version of Blade. That's what it felt like.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah.
Yes, a Disney-fied
That's what
version.
It was. Yeah.
This is yes. Yeah. So I wasn't feeling it really. I don't. It's like half of me wants to like, well, it's the first issue. Maybe there's going to be more violence in the second one. Maybe that's what I want. I wanted more violence. Okay.
I already. So that's what you were expecting. I already knew that it wasn't going to be that. I knew it wasn't going to be that. I knew it was going to be your standard superhero teenage story. She's trying to figure out powers because that's what these things are. A little bit of gore and violence because it's a vampire book. But if you was expecting faces ripped off and
or just some more vampire fights. There wasn't much in it. There wasn't much. I think the coolest fight was the one between the mom and the vampire, where she kills the mom. Or the mom kills.
But most of this was just teen drama.
Yeah, it was basically a teeny bopper.
Because that was the big conflict of it. Like, what's she gonna do with her best friend now that she isn't in band or whatever the fuck she's in?
Yeah, is she gonna share? It's and I'm already reading that Mark Millar book, which is kind of the vampire,
which teenage vampires,
and shit, So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I wasn't really feeling this. So yeah, I'm still torn. Like I really want to give this a chance because I do like Blade as a character,
and Blade is going to show up in the next issue because they got to get the sales. So
yeah. So maybe depending how the week goes, I might pick up the second issue.
Well, the thing I'm thinking about, I might pick this up. I might pick up the next issue because I think it's quick. I think it's like 3 issues, 5 issues, something like that.
Yeah,
it ain't gonna be long. Yeah.
So
it's gonna be in and out. So
maybe I'll get depending how it goes, I may or may not pick up the second issue. But this one really didn't sell me on Blade's daughter. So I'll give
I was kind of sold on it. I'll be honest with you. I think I liked it a little bit better than you did. I think it was okay. Not the best thing, but it was.
I thought it was okay. Yeah.
Yeah. It was basically standard superhero stuff.
Yeah.
Which it's okay. She's learning her powers. Yeah. She's got this weird backstory.
Yeah, it's the Spider-Man motif. Trying to balance the powers with the responsibility and stuff.
Right. She's got to protect her friends. Her mom knows and stuff like that. So yeah. Plus, hey, I've watched every episode of Buffy, so.
Well, I did not.
And Angel, I've seen both of them. Angel was a superior show, but yeah, we're never.
I'll give it a 2.5 out of 5. It's almost there. It almost got me, but not quite. But
I see your 2.5, and I will raise you a 3.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm like on the fence on whether or not I should go again. But
that's where I'm at. I was like, I want to like it more than I did.
Yeah, so good. All right. Do we have any more books? Are you booked out? You get any more? Or?
Yeah, I do. I got one more.
You booked out? I think I'm booked out. Other than really? I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do because it's Black History Month. It's Black History Month. So since I gotta participate some kind of way, so at the end of every episode, I am going to review one Black book from back in the day. Okay. Not this new Blade's daughter shit. Because yeah.
Do you want that to be at the end of the episode, or are you doing that now?
Like now, yeah.
Okay, because I do have one more book.
Oh, go for it. Yeah, what you got?
Okay, all right. Well, I got that Where Monsters Lie.
You did, yeah. I knew there was one more book you had on it. I couldn't remember what it was, but yeah.
And this was a lot of fun. It was a light week. I was like, fuck. That's why I started reading the Creature Commandos. It was like there wasn't really anything I was interested in this week. So, and even when I read this synopsis, I thought that sounds kind of stupid, but I ended up reading this. Turned out to be a lot of fun. So, Where Monsters Lie, it's about slasher movie villains, like Jason, Freddy, Michael Myers, Leatherface. It's where those killers go when they're between their killing sprees. There's a town. There's this gated community where they go and relax and prepare and plan their next murder spree. And in that town, they get to relax and chill. They're not supposed to kill while they're in that town, so to remain.
It's like the Continental in
it's like this gated community, this plush suburban neighborhood. They're not supposed to kill to maintain cover, but one of them ends up killing some kids. One of them ends up escaping and goes to the cops and basically lets the cat out of the bag that there's a whole neighborhood of slashers. And they, at the end of the issue, the cops show up. But this is a group of slasher villains. You have you have your Jason type, You have your Saw type, the Mr. Puzzle Man or whatever. He makes these elaborate puzzles that kill. You have a guy like Terrifier, like Art the Clown. There's a clown killer. There's a guy named Fuckmaster.
Okay.
But and then they're all kind of like this old lady. She's like an old slasher villain too. She's like the sort of like the not the mayor, but kind of the caretaker, and kind of holds them all together and maintains the rules and upholds the rules and stuff of the kind of like the Karen of the neighborhood. And in this scene, they're having a meeting like, oh, so-and-so killed some kids. You better kill them all. We have rules against killing in this neighborhood, but since you killed a bunch of kids, did you get them all? Because if you didn't, and you left one of them alive, they're going to come back and tell everyone about this place, So there's a meeting, and it's really goofy. It's very tongue in cheek. It's very cheesy and campy. And it was a lot of fun. I mean, if you're a horror fan, this is right up your alley. I did not expect to like it as much as I did, but I actually really enjoyed it. It reminds me of that. I don't know if you ever watched Robot Chicken. There's that
sometimes, but
there's
yeah,
that
they had
one
those skits on there, but
with the puppets and the toys and stuff, But there was a skit they had, that one parody of where all the slasher villains lived in a house, like a reality show, like Big Brother or whatever. And they're all living in a house, like Jason, Freddy, Michael Myers. They're all living in a house together. It was like a Big Brother reality show parody and stuff. It kind of reminded me of that, just fun, campy slasher villain satire, So yeah, I had a lot of fun with this. I didn't expect to like it as much as I did, and yeah, this is probably my book of the week. And it was.
Who is like the publisher?
Oh, Dark Horse.
Dark Horse, okay.
Yeah. So
did you recognize any of the creative writers, anything?
No, but I heard about this because Fangoria, like all the horror sites, were pushing this. Bloody Disgusting, Fangoria, Rue Morgue, all the the premier horror movie fan sites. They all had articles on this, and even then, I was like, that sounds kind of dumb. But like I said, it was a light week, and I was like, fuck it, I'll check it out, and I ended up really digging on it. So I'm on board. 4 out of 5.
Cool. All right, now just left it to me. All right, so like I said, this is Black History Month, and I wanted to do something. I wanted to do some of my due diligence this week, so I decided to do a retro book. So what I'm going to do this month, at the end of every episode, the last book I'm going to do is going to be a book showing badass Black heroes doing stuff, or villains, whichever I feel like. I don't know what they're doing. So what we're going to do is, this book is Suicide Squad number 10. This was in the 80s. This is the first time Batman met Amanda Waller. A lot of you have heard about the story. We're going to actually dig into the story, find out exactly what it's going to be about. So, nope, wrong. Damn it. I got too much stuff going on.
Refresh.
Yeah, I got too much stuff going on. Hold on, let's get this fixed up. Let's see. Yeah, so that's what's going on. So, like I said, we've seen Amanda Waller and Batman meet in other, forms of media plenty of times, and for the most part, now every time we've seen them meet, they take from this. So this is where they first meet. This is where they start. So let's go back to where we were before. Okay, so Batman versus Amanda Waller. That's the name of the book. Let's get to it. See what we got. All right. So what we're going to do is skip the first 7 pages, because it's just a bunch of nonsense about Rick Flag being sad about his dead girlfriend, some shit. I don't care, and we're going to start with this one. Okay. So there's a prisoner in Bel Rev. Bel Rev is the name of the prison that, they're in back in New Orleans. And he's there and he's getting spied on. So he takes off his glasses and he's basically like an image of himself in the glasses, stick it in the lens. And everybody's like, well, what's going on? Is something happening in that room? They're like, yeah, some dude named Matches Malone. So that's the first. Yeah. Matches Malone was to say, we're just doing a favor for the commissioner of Gotham, because we're just transferring this prisoner from here to Gotham the next morning. So he's only here for one night, So Matches Malone is in that room, but some weird shit went down. But I'm looking at his room and he's just there. He just sleeps. So Should I call it in? They're like, nah, I don't feel like getting Amanda Waller upset. Everything looks fine. Let's go back to business. So Master Malone has fixed the camera and made it look like it is. He's, broken out of his cell. And yeah, he walks into storeroom A, which something was there because that's where his stuff was. So what did he came to get? His bat suit, because he basically got a care package from Commissioner Gordon, So Gordon snuck him in for that. And they goes to the warden room, which is John and Monaco, and that's Dijab. That's his real name on the show. They just made up a guy. But anyway, Batman sneaks into Dijab's office, goes into a file because they don't have a computer because it's the 80s. He digs into a file, finds what he's looking for, and it says, so Amanda Waller's like, okay, we've been here long enough. I'm about to clock out. Y'all guys have fun. And that's when she shuts the computers down and you see like the image of a bat, walking into there also. And that's when one of the guards, right before Amanda Waller clocks out, she's like, Miss Waller, you left your computer on. Should we turn it off from here? And Waller's like, wait a minute, what? Somebody's in my room right now. Shut the whole place down. Shut everything down. Somebody's in here and they're trying to find out what's going on about the Suicide Squad. And she pulls out a gun out of nowhere. She's like, up against the wall, you mother, and then she's like, he's gone. You're like, so who the hell was in here? Who the hell snuck in our room and stole some shit from us and knows about the Suicide Squad? Because nobody's supposed to know about the Suicide Squad. They're underground. It's supposed to be secret by the government. So somebody knows about them. So, and they got to find out who it is. And not only did you do that, she stole our floppy disk, all 10 megabytes of information, So they're like, anyway, so Dijab turns on, the lights in Bel Rev, and that's when Amanda Waller sees the Batman. She's like, oh, there he is. The Batman has snuck in and stole all the stuff he finds out about us. So they're like, oh, we're in trouble. She's like, we're not in trouble. Activate the squad right now. Rick Flag, get your ass up. I don't care that you just got your ass kicked in the last mission. Batman is in Bel Rev right now. Find him, take him out, and get the rest of the squad too. And matter of fact, get Deadshot's lazy ass up too and tell him to come down, And he's like, oh, the Batman is here? Oh, yeah, let me get ready. And so they got this new recruit on the team also named the Duchess. We don't know this now, but the Duchess is actually Lashina, one of Darkseid's Furies. So she's a new god, but they don't know that at the time. So they're like, lock this place down, Suicide Squad, go get Batman, take him down by any means necessary. Do not let him leave this building, And matter of fact,
when did this come out?
85 or something.
Okay, because that looks like Vasquez from Aliens. That one.
Oh, it may be. It may be.
Yeah. That was 86. Yeah.
That was 86. Hold on. What is the time? 87. This book came out in
okay,
87.
Yeah. So
might have been 88, 87, 88.
See the influence. Yeah.
Good call. I knew you recognize this. So the first thing, Wallace sends up the first wave of security guards against Batman. You're under arrest. And you already know what's going to happen. Batman takes these guys out like they're not even standing there. It just keeps walking. Like, didn't he run? He just walks past them, And that's when he runs into Vasquez, and she slaps the shit out of him. She's like, let's go, Batman. And see, the thing is, all the criminals in Bel Rev are trying to get their hands on Batman. So if he gets too close to the wall, they're going to grab him. So it's like some weird WWE ladder match or some shit, They're trying to grab onto him. They rip his cape off, And she's just like, I heard you was a big deal, Batman. Show me something. Show me why I should be scared of the Batman. And Batman just hits her right dead in the throat. And she just like, there you go. Now you gave me a reason to wake up this morning, Batman. Let's go. And Batman takes out his gas capsule and shoves it in her mouth, and then just walks off while she's got a gas capsule in her mouth and she passes out, And that's when Batman gets to the room. And that's when you got Deadshot just like, what's up, Batman? You don't want to put me here, Batman. So let me return the favor. So Batman, Deadshot aims at him, shoots. Batman's already missed. And he's like, "Where the fuck, Batman go?" And all he sees is a fist going straight in his forced face, and Batman knocks him out, and just keeps walking past him. So Batman's on his way outside of Bel Rev. He's about to just leave, just walk out the front door, And that's when he sees, like, Batman, you ain't going nowhere. And that's when he get Rick Flag, bam, bum rushes him. So now it's like Rick Flag versus Batman. And like, Batman, you're staying. You're not leaving. So Batman gives it to him. And they're about to just square off against each other. And Rick Flag actually gets some shots in on Batman. They're actually going at it. until the fight gets stopped by bullet holes from Amanda Waller. Because she was just firing warning shots at both of them. She was like, okay, Batman, going in.
Yeah, said brat.
So Amanda Waller standing with the Suicide Squad. She's like, Batman, I got this place sealed tighter than a drum. She's like, I've got it out of places tighter than this, Amanda Waller. And then basically they just throwing insults at each other, stuff like that. And Batman just basically, look, yeah, I got your files. I got your floppy disk, all 10 megabytes of it. And guess what? I'm walking right through the front door. Nobody's going to stop me. And the only way you're going to stop me, you're going to have to kill me. And that's basically saying that's the only way you're going to stop from getting out of here. And that's when Batman's just like, and that's when Amanda Waller's is like, okay, Batman. And Deadshot's is like, kill you? Man, I kill you for free. And Batman like, shut the fuck up. If you would have killed me, you would have done it already, Deadshot. It keeps talking shit. That's when Amanda Waller's just like, oh, Batman, you end up walking out the front door. So yeah, you worried about exposing our secret identity. But guess what? Our secret identity isn't as important as your secret identity. And she's like, what the hell are you talking about, Waller? She's like, look, Batman, we know who you are. We know your match is Malone. So we know what room you came out of. Guess what? When you was in that room, you weren't wearing gloves. You touched the floor. You touched the desk. You touched the doorknob. You touched all the stuff with your fingerprints. And I had my guy sweep the room and he got your fingerprints off the doorknob. So here's the thing, Batman. I didn't run the prints. I don't know who you are right now. But if you expose who we are, you damn best believe I'm going to expose those prints. And we're going to find out who you are. We're going to hunt you down. And I'm going to expose your shit all over the web. Well, there wasn't a web in the 80s, but the news.
All over the National Enquirer.
All over the National Enquirer, exactly. Oh, Channel 3.
People Magazine. Yeah.
Exactly. And she's just like, well, how do you know Batman's going to keep his secret? He's Batman. Of course he'll do it. And Batman just hands it over. He hands over the floppy disk, all 10 megabytes of it. He's like, fine, Waller. You beat me this time, Waller, but I'll find another way to bring you down. And they just let him leave. And Rick Flag and Batman.
Kids.
Exactly. Just walk out the front door and that's it. And Deadshot's just like, wait a minute, did you just bitch out Batman? And she was like, and as Rick Flag is pissed off, she's like, damn. So because I'm hanging around you guys, Batman looks at me just like you assholes. He thinks I'm no better than Captain Boomerang and Deadshot, even though I'm Rick Flag. I'm this decorated soldier and stuff like that. So like, that's where I'm gonna get the Suicide Squad right. Y'all gonna be on the same level as Batman when I'm done with you. And he leaves, and Waller's just like, well, that's it. So that is the book. Says the first time Batman met Amanda Waller, nobody was know about Suicide Squad. Batman found out about Suicide Squad, and Amanda Waller told him, you're not telling anybody. I thought about either doing this book or the time when she bitched out Barack Obama, but that's how I do this one because it's more famous. So yeah, there we go. So hopefully they do that story in the Waller TV show. So
cool.
Are we booked out? We're good?
Yeah, I'm booked out.
Okay, cool. Like I said, if you listen this long, definitely like, share, subscribe. You know what? We always talk about people liking, sharing, and subscribing, but never give credit for people to actually watch it. Because just watching it helps out whatever weird algorithm is out there right now. They push it for other people. Because I looked up the analytics. The majority of people that watch us each episode are watching for the first time. So if you watch for the first time, click it again, watch the second time. There you go.
Yeah,
or share it and have somebody else watch it. So yeah. I don't know what we'll do next week. I think I'll do that. I think I'll do some of those Valentine's stories next week. The one on that Harley Quinn book, just because it's gonna be close to Valentine's Day.
Oh, it's Valentine's Day.
Yeah, closer to it. You better get your present now. Chocolate, whatever, Until then, this is Leroy.
This is Eli.
We'll talk to you guys next week. Same bullet time.